What's up, everybody? I'm Ryan, and I'm lazy and stupid, but you know what? So are you, and that's okay, because as always, my plan is to make you less lazy and less stupid with each passing day by teaching you how to make the internet work for you. And today, honestly, I just want to rant a little bit. The topic for today is social media. More specifically, I want to talk about a content trend that's going on social media, most specifically on Facebook, and I'll explain why that is later. But every time I see it, it just makes me angry. So I just want to vent a little bit. We'll get to that in just a second. All right, so before I can tell you what the actual trend is, I need to tell you a little bit about how you as a social media user see content on these various social networks. So on Twitter and Instagram, for example, you go and you follow people that you like on Twitter and Instagram, and as a result, you see their content in chronological order on your home feed, one after the other after the other. There's no filtering that takes place there. On Facebook, on the other hand, you may be friends with tons of people, and you may like a bunch of different pages, but Facebook is actually filtering the content that you see to make sure that you're only seeing content that's most engaging to you. They use algorithms to try and determine the type of content that appeals to you most. As a user of Facebook, that can be potentially good because then that means that you're only seeing the most interesting stuff. As a social media marketer, that can actually be pretty frustrating because then that means that your content is only reaching a portion of your audience. So for example, let's say you have a Facebook page and you post a piece of content. That piece of content is only reaching, on average, a tiny percentage of the people that even like your page. Yes, you heard that right. Content that you post on Facebook is only reaching a tiny percentage of people who are fans of your page. There are two ways, though, to make sure that your content reaches more people. Number one, you can pay. You can pay to have your content reach more of your fans, more of your fans' friends, and even people who don't already like your Facebook page. The other thing that you can do is post more interesting, engaging, awesome content. And that's hard to do. Now, marketers are starting to understand this more, and some of them are being really creative and finding interesting ways to make sure that their content reaches more people without even paying, just by producing more creative and interesting content. The more creative and interesting the content is, the more people that engage with it. The more people that engage with it, the more people that their content reaches on average as they post on their page. Some marketers, however, are getting involved with a practice, and this is the trend that I was referring to earlier. And it's basically what's happening is they'll post a picture usually. It's usually a picture, and they'll have a picture of like Jesus on it, and they'll say, like if you love Jesus, ignore if you hate Jesus. Now, of course, if you love Jesus, which a lot of people do, you're going to like that post, because if you don't, well, then you hate Jesus, right? Well, see, that's exactly the problem, and that's the thing that frustrates me about this content. It plays on the emotions of people. Now, content in general, you want your content, if it's good, to play on people's emotions. That's what good content does. It either makes you happy, or it motivates you, or it's thought-provoking, or something like that. But bad content like this is going to play on emotions like fear and guilt, and it just drives me nuts every time I see someone post something like this, and you get people that just dive right in, they're liking and they're sharing and they're commenting, and for your page, that's great. But at the end of the day, it makes you look like an egomaniacal douchebag. But the reason it happens more on Facebook is because you have to be engaging your audience more if you want Facebook to show your audience more of your content in the future. But you know what? There's so many better ways to go about doing this than posting all these crappy posts that just play on people's emotions. Now take this post for example. It's a post of a soldier who was apparently wounded in action at some point. It says, like if you respect him, ignore if you don't. Now, do you think that the person who posted this picture at all gives a shit about whether or not you respect this person? No, at the end of the day, they don't. Of course you do, but you shouldn't be guilted into having to like someone's Facebook post just so that they can get more likes and so that their content will reach more people at the end of the day. Here's another one. Like if you love your mom, ignore if you don't love your mom. I mean, come on. Even posts like this one drive me nuts, because if you share it, obviously nothing's going to happen. But it's going to get people's hopes up, and it's going to make them think, oh, maybe if I share this post, I'm going to get some money, and I'm going to be happy, and blah, 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 blah. That's not how it works. And by the way, I'm not saying that it's bad to ask people to like and share your posts or to retweet your tweets. And actually, studies show that if you do ask people to like and share, you will get more likes and shares and retweets and things of that nature. The only problem is when you do it excessively and when you do it for a bad reason. But there are some, let's say you just put out a piece of content that you're really proud of and you want more people to see it. You might say, hey, I'm really proud of this. It'd be great if you could share it with other people who you think might like it. If somebody posted that and I thought it was good content, I'd be happy to share it. On the other hand, if you said, share my piece of content or I'm going to murder this basket full of kittens, then I would just completely bash you on Facebook. Another reason to stay away from posting this type of content is there are people that are plenty smart enough out there to realize when someone is just posting this type of content in order to get more engagement on their page. And these are the people that you don't want to mess with, because they will not hesitate to take to your Facebook page and start commenting away on your posts and posting on your wall and just bashing everything you do. And that is not easy to come back from once you sort of become known as the person who's posting that type of content. Another thing to keep in mind. All right, so you might be asking yourself, if I shouldn't be posting this like farm content, what can I be doing to be posting more interesting content that engages my audience? There's a lot of different ways that you can do that without looking like a complete maniacal, crazy person who just, wants more likes on their posts and things like that. And going back to the military post that you saw earlier, here's an example of what I think is a great post. It has a picture of a little baby. He's got his little American flags and stuff like that. And it's got a caption above it. The caption says, "Does anyone have little ones in their life that look up to you for your service?" And that's cute because there's no obligation to that, but it's not playing on your emotions in a bad way. It's a cute picture, it kind of appeals to you, makes you smile, and it asks an engaging question. And that particular post came from a page called Military Women. It got 433 likes, 15 comments, and 45 shares. That's not bad for a piece of good content. Now, another example of good content, and this came from, if you don't follow God on Facebook, you probably should. He's actually a really good page, but he posts this picture here, and it says, "You don't need religion to have morals. If you can't determine right from wrong, you lack empathy, not religion." And that's a great post because, again, it doesn't make you feel guilty if you don't share it. There's no obligation to it. But it's an interesting picture, it's an interesting quote, it appeals to a lot of us, and it's engaging enough to make you want to share it. This particular post got over 44,000 likes and over 17,000 shares. That's the type of content you want to be focusing on, content that reflects positively on you as a marketer. And the good thing is you don't always have to come up with this content yourself. A lot of the time you can find this type of content just on the internet. Just browse the internet, search websites like Reddit and stuff, and look for content that engages with your audience. Obviously, if you're going to be sharing this content, you'll want to give credit to where the source came from, and that's okay. I mean, people, that makes you even look even better if you're going to post a picture from some other source and then you post, where you got it from. This makes you look even more credible. Just look for content that appeals to your audience. All right, rant over. I think I was able to vent enough. I hope that was helpful for you. If you are a social media marketer and you're engaging in this filthy practice, just stop it. Just be smarter about it. You can accomplish the same results by publishing better content and not being so conniving and mischievous about it. If you're a Facebook user, just a regular user, just stop engaging with those types of posts and hopefully they'll go away and we can get back to seeing truly awesome content on Facebook. But until next time, thanks for watching. If you want to connect with me, just head over to lazyandstupid.com. You can find also any interesting links in the description below. I'm on Twitter and Facebook, all that good stuff. If you have any suggestions for the show, or if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer on a future show, please feel free to leave me a comment. Otherwise, we will see you next week. Now go out and do something awesome. Bye-bye.